Almost every day, Jim Easley, a 71-year-old Inez resident, makes the short trek across the field from his house to his mechanic shop. He spends his days there doing what he loves, restoring old cars. And he learned a lot of what he knows today from his father, who was a mechanic in Victoria back in the 1950s.
Well, he'd give me parts to scrape the carbon off and, the gaskets and clean them for him. I eventually could work beside my dad there and do jobs too. I think when I was 13, I had a 46 Ford that I bought for like $30, and it wouldn't run, and me and my daddy fooled with it and got it running, and of course I couldn't drive because I didn't have no driver's license. But then when they leave on Sunday, I'd get in that car and go around the neighborhood.
It wasn't very long, though, before Jim finally found the car of his dreams, a 1934 Ford.
We found it in Port Lavac in a junkyard over there. Me and my buddies went over there and dragged it back to Victoria because it didn't run or nothing.
Oh, but he got it to run all right. He got it to run so well that pretty soon every cop in Victoria knew his name and where he lived. By the early 60s, Jim had settled down, got married, and was raising a family. It became quickly apparent that his son Todd loved working on cars just as much as he did, even from an early age.
Oh, he was about, I guess 5 or 6 years old. And I came out of the kitchen into the garage, and there he was with a spray paint can, spraying my fender on my car. Oh my gosh, I was ballistic. Little did we know he was going to be a paint and body man.
Todd, with the help of his dad, opened up his own paint and body shop in Victoria. They also went on hunting trips in Colorado together. They became more than father and son. They became best friends. And just like any best friend would do, Todd jumped right in to help Jim Easley realize a lifelong dream, to restore another 1934 Ford and replace the one he had had when he was a teenager.
Because he was a lot better than me. He was a perfectionist. So, we were just blocking it out and getting it ready, and then I took it out there and he painted it for Father's Day. That was my Father's Day gift.
But sadly, Father's Day was the last time the Easleys would be together as a family.
We found out July 14th, 2001, Saturday morning about 7 o'clock. Rex Easley Jr. called us and said that he had just come from the morgue and that he had identified Todd as one of the victims in a boating accident, and that they were all dead. And it was devastating. It was just like a part of your heart is ripped out. It just takes. But the Lord had plans for him, and I believe that we will see him again. I kind of accepted it, I think, a little sooner than he did, because he lost his friend and his son. He covered it up, I guess, probably for about a year. He just didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I told him, I said, all the time and work y'all put into it together, I said, don't you think that Todd would want you to finish it? And he's going to ride shotgun with you if you ever get it finished. He'd love it.
In fact, I wasn't going to never finish it, but then I had to. That's the reason we was building it. I had to finish it for him.
So if you see this car out on the road, just take a second and think about this. Jim Easley built this with his own 2 hands, armed with the knowledge that his father gave him and help from his own son, who still rides shotgun.